On today's episode of Flashback Friday in Elvis history, I take you back to November 14th, 1970, 55 years ago this afternoon. Elvis Presley rock and rolled the famous Forum in Inglewood, California, right next to Los Angeles. He shattered the box office record there at that time in 1970. Today, you're going to hear an article. You're going to see rare video footage of Elvis at this concert. You're going to see a cool photo of him laying on stage. He was so exhausted. He laid on the stage just like Elvis would. So guys, let's get to the show. This is going to be a good one. In his first local performance in 13 years, Elvis Presley's 2 Saturday concerts at the Forum in Inglewood shattered the one-day box office record at the arena and demonstrated once again the dynamic qualities that have made him the nation's top concert attraction. The 313 gross from this concert, sponsored by Management 3 in association with Concert Associates and Concerts West, easily broke the previous single-day record of 238,000 set last year by the Rolling Stones' 2 concerts. Backed by the same supporting acts, the Imperials and the Sweet Inspirations vocal quartets, plus comedian Sammy Shore, that have been with him in Las Vegas, Presley's Saturday concerts were similar in design but different in results. Both his timing and showsmanship seemed better in the afternoon. By the middle of the evening concert, he seemed tired. His movements, the widely imitated karate-like gestures, the sweeping turns, the occasional hip wiggles, were less pronounced in the evening show. It was a wildly divergent audience, a cross between what one would find at an adult Middle America-dominated Tom Jones concert and a younger, typical rock concert. It was an audience of worshipers and curious long-haired and short-haired old fans, now in their 25 to 35 age group. The first show started 15 minutes after the scheduled 3 p.m. time. After an hour of preliminaries and intermission, the audience anticipation was at a peak. So you guys got hyped, no doubt about it. 9 uniformed security guards plus Colonel Tom Parker, Presley's manager, and Jerry Wintrob, who is promoting the 8 city tour, sat on benches in front of the stage to guard against overzealous fans, but no incidents developed. At 4:15, the lights dimmed as guitarist James Burton hits the opening licks of "That's All Right, Mama, That's All Right with You." Presley walks on stage. He's wearing a white Apache-style jumpsuit with a red rope belt around his waist. Hundreds of flashbulbs illuminated the Forum. "I love you, Elvis," a woman screams from the audience. Others screech or shout. Others screech or shout. Similar loyalties. The flashbulbs are so bright, he has to blink repeatedly. "Hello, I'm Johnny Cash," he tells the audience, engaging in the tongue-in-cheek actions that he enjoys on stage. He alters one of the lines in "Love Me Tender" as a gag, moves right into "You don't have to say you love me." And then you've lost that loving feeling, going through all spots and turns and sweeps for dramatic effect. Flashbulbs pop again. After a strenuous rendition of Polk Salad Annie, Gator Got Your Granny, he falls to the floor, stays there for several seconds in mock exhaustion, then gets up with a smile on his face. Yeah, Elvis liked to have fun, didn't he? After Johnny B. Good, he introduces guitarist Burton as Chuck Berry and pianist Glenn D. Harden as Jerry Lee Lewis. Presley then went on through some of his early recordings, Heartbreak Hotel, Blue Suede Shoes, Hound Dog, and the gospel How Great Thou Art, before moving into a Bridge Over Troubled Water. That's my favorite song, by the way. Suspicious Minds, Willie Nelson's Funny, How Time Slips Away, and finally Can't Help Falling in Love. As always, he didn't do an encore. He was on stage for 50 minutes, and then Elvis has left the building. Thank you and good night. In the evening show, Presley changed to a jumpsuit with long fringes along the sleeves. His selections were the same, except that he added One Night, Love Me, and Trying to Get to You. Because the evening concert was sold out in less than 10 hours, Presley felt a special closeness to the evening audience. Perhaps that is why he engaged in such uncharacteristic for him actions as taking time to deny certain unspecific but obvious to the audience stories that had been printed recently about his private life, and to remind the audience, in a sense I think of thanking it for his loyalty, how many records he has sold, and to say that his new movie, an MGM documentary on his last Las Vegas engagement, is the best film he has made in 10 years. Though the pacing and the execution of his evening performance seemed less precise than the earlier concerts, Elvis was tired. I mean, come on. The audience responded with the same enthusiasm. Presley had come back to Los Angeles after 13 years. He had added an orchestra and some new songs, but he still had the excellent country blues voice, the enormous personal charisma, and showsmanship. He showed that he is still way in front of everybody else. So check out, here's a cool photo of Elvis backstage with Felton Jarvis, who recorded some of his hits there in the 70s. Ronnie Tutt, Elvis, and Dick Grobe right back there, keeping an eye on the guy taking a photo. Look at Dick's mean mug look. Never change. I liked him. He was a good guy. But here's Elvis on stage, putting a hat on, and Colonel Parker looking on. Oh, it was the Colonel's hat. Colonel looks like he's smoking one of his famous cigarillas right there. But yeah, Elvis stole the Colonel's hat and put it on his head there on stage. And here is Elvis laying on the ground from exhaustion. Or just being Elvis. Which one was it? And here is some cool footage of Elvis in concert there at the famous Forum in Los Angeles, where Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would have a lot of cool history with the Lakers in the next decade in the 80s. But here is Elvis rocking and rolling in the Forum for that sold-out crowd there. Two crowds, an afternoon show and an evening show. And we're lucky to have this footage today. So just sit back and enjoy and experience what it might be like to see Elvis Presley in concert. Yeah, it is epic. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Flashback Friday in Elvis history. This was 55 years ago today. So stay tuned, don't double dribble. Subscribe to me if you haven't. Like this, comment. I read the comments. Share it with your friends. And until next time, stay tuned for another Flashback Friday in Elvis history.